Good afternoon, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. We are talking here in the United Kingdom about money given to the British people by the British government. And there are people outside the UK who have been, by way of giving feedback, asking me how this information relates to them. It does relate to everyone on the globe, because we are a global world. We in these communities of humanities are practicing something called globalization, such that Britain at the head of the global economic system and processing is leading the economic system of capitalism, in which there is the advent where privatization has captivated the economic and geopolitical environment. However you describe it, we are privatizing the entire world in the United Kingdom and abroad. The system of business, big business, something called in terms of globalization known as corporatization, which means big is better, small is less. And the way the logic about corporatization is that it saves money, it maximizes profit, and capitalism as a system is to produce growth, economic growth. And to be more specific, unfortunately, because of the nature of the beast, capitalism is known and have been at the heart of concentrating wealth in the hand of the many, or in the hand of the few, taking this wealth away from the hand of the many. And there has been a social injustice getting worse and extremitized. Our public sector is closing down globally, especially in the United Kingdom. In the Western world, democracy is failing because a lot of people are in poverty, they are trapped, they cannot access healthcare, they cannot access dental care, they cannot access housing, public housing. The increase and the risk of homelessness, joblessness, and failure to access food and energy, water. The rest is history. We fail to access public sector technologies on the rise, taking over jobs, which is a good thing, but it is a bad thing because you see, because of social inequality, which is a form of political violence, is now weaponizing technology, weaponizing wealth, and creating a lot of mayhem. We are a ticking time bomb as a society. The prognosis is grim. We are the people creating this problem at every level of society, whether you are in the ruling class, the working class, you are man or woman. We are all in this together. We created this problem culturally, at least culturally, but we can also solve this problem culturally. This has been the underlying of this program. You may leave a comment to question. It's a very vulnerable exercise. It is wholesome in the way we can engage in discussion. We live in a world where if you don't look after yourself, you're going to die. We live in a jungle called capitalism, marketization, name it. It's a jungle. Is a survival of the fittest. To be fit, you should have information. To have information, you need to gain knowledge. Knowledge can produce change. It is empowering. Without power, you are sitting dark. It is not an excuse to be poor. Poverty of knowledge is actually inexcusable in an age of information with our internet and exercising of the capacity to access information online. I have said this consistently, and engaging with this program is icing on the cake. And I'm so grateful that you came. I'm so grateful that you subscribe. If you have subscribed, I'm grateful that you have clicked like, click notification bell, you have made comments, share the video with family and friends. Continue watching, stay tuned, and we are going to turn now to look at the specific information, which is a continuation of the rest of the process of the segment in the program. And you can now watch this video alongside the rest of the video. I will stop to pause from time to time to give my opinion. This is to look at how things happen with government policy in one country is quite similar to government policy in another country. If you are in Africa, what happened in Europe, in America, in Asia is quite similar because of cooperation between states under the global economy. Also, something called harmonization, the standardizing of the social system, policy, politics, technology, and every aspect of society. Pay attention, stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm so grateful you did. I'm so excited about this program. We are a work in progress. Support this material in whatever way you can, and the few, the many, the merrier. And we are here to stay. We are a human species determined to do something. Do not despise the aspects of small beginning in life, because we are to survive. We are survivors. We are the authors and finishers of our destinies. If you do nothing, if you renegade, if you actually withdraw your hand, then you are a sitting duck, and you are suicidal, failing to access knowledge, failing to be an authority on every topic, on politics, on government, or even if you are a child, if you are an adult. Make sure you are on top of every topic. If you have the time, if you don't have the time, make sure you pay attention to something as little or as big as, spending as little or as big as a lot of time doing one thing or another. Do something with your life. Let us work together as families, as friends. Let us work as communities. Let us work as society. Let us be ourselves as individuals. Let us believe. Let us dream big. Let us do our best, because we only live once. The world out there is a jungle. God for us all, and we are every man for himself. That is to change. We need to change our attitude to determine our latitude, which is actually to grow higher and higher, bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger, more and more powerful. Because if not, you are going to be a non-survivor in a jungle like we have in the current economic and the sociological atmosphere. Is a death sentence. You are actually a sitting duck. You are a predator. Become a prey, preying over wrong. Human wrong should be eliminated. The people of the world should learn their culture, respecting themselves, valuing their lives. If you value your life, you will look for it. You do everything. You look after it. You do everything to look after yourself. And as somebody who values your life, a lot of people are committing suicide. They are killing one another because they don't value their life. They don't value other people. Suicide is the opposite of homicide. Homicide is the killing of somebody else. You don't value them. That's why you kill them. That's why you abuse them. The government abusing the British people as it does, through its brutality, through its lack of care, is because it does not respect for the British people, because it doesn't value the British people. It only value wealth and power. And that culture of politics and government must change, because we are humans. We have the last say, whether we are foreign, whether we are black. You see, it's irrelevant which country you come from, because we are global countries. We are global, and the idea that foreigners are coming into Britain to take away the British wealth is false. Is a political ploy. Is the strategy to divide and rule society. Is an old game, old dog learning no new tricks. There has to be clear. We need to really hold our government to account in Britain, because otherwise they're going to kind of like hang us to dry, leave us for dead. We cannot allow the government to do that. They chose to set up states to rule over the countries of the world, and now they're going to bail out, and they have stolen our money, they have stolen our land, they have stolen our wealth, and we have forgotten about our lands, because we are sleeping. We thought the government was going to give us money for free. Yes, it did, but it was actually fooling us, keeping us asleep. And when we slept, when we got their technology, when they are now getting their technology, they're now not kicking us out of work. They're now kicking us out of our homes. They tried to give us social housing. Then we slept. We thought we were going to get social housing. They are now kicking us. They gave us the National Health Service. We thought we were going to get public health care. Now they are kicking us out of a system. Now if you go to your GP, you can't get a proper service. They are neglected. There is no funding. The best way to close up the public sector is to refuse or to stop funding it. In the UK, in every part of the world, it is our same thing. It is global, and we are here to be globalizing as well. The people excluded, the 90% of the population being excluded from world resources, is a reality, and they are the ones who need now to work for a living, and there are no work. Do not let the government deceive you. There are no jobs, because the ones left now, we don't know how much it is valid, how much of the work, how many of the work is valid in terms of pay, in terms of quality. We live in a modern world where we have to compete with technology. We need to be technocrats, to be counted as employees or self-employees. And now, if we are self-employees or employees, we are earning enough or not enough. I have been looking at the money given by the UK. The level is not enough. We need to tell the government to get the British people out of power. If the government is telling us the truth, that is should act today. Raising the level of benefit, raising the benefit, the level of minimum and national living wage. I have said this. You join me and let us do the talking, and let us put pressure on the government to bring these changes today. Otherwise, we are going to die. You are going to die. Divided we fall, together united we stand. This is a slogan we should remember. Let us now get out of where we are and get into what we need to do. Look at the money. We are looking now, watching this video, with the rest of the video. We mentioned something called changes in your personal circumstance. Also changing your claim and commitment. We talked about claim and commitment, which is the commitment you make when you go to the Department of Work and Pension to claim benefit. And before you claim benefit, you talk to somebody called work coach at the job center, and at the Department of Work and Pension, you make a commitment, the list of things you're going to do in exchange for benefit. And this is not necessary. I think it should be scrapped. It is nonsensical. You don't need to make any commitment at all. You benefit you get because you are not working. You're not working because the government didn't create a proper job. If the government want to create any commitment in terms of contract, let us create enough jobs for people of working age so that everybody should work and not go into benefit. People go into benefit because there is low pay and minimum wage is low, because the condition of work is appalling. You work like as if you are not a human being. You are treated as if you are a dog. And if there is no decent work, then people will not work. People should not work because the country is wealthy. Multi-millionaires and but the billionaires do not work. You see, they make poor people work for them, and this has been happening for decades and decades. They say they work hard. No, they work smart. There is a difference between hard work and smart work. Multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires have been smart, working smart. Poor people have been working hard. Hard work does not pay. The government is saying they want to make hard work pay. If your rhetoric is to match your reality, then raise the level of minimum wage today. Help small and medium businesses with grant to boost their business. If they don't make profit, you have to pay them benefit. In terms of grants, small and medium businesses are shutting down now because the cost of living, the cost of business is over the roof. There is an agenda to corporatize the business economy, which is okay, or may not. Maybe it is not okay. Then you follow that. These people are losing their livelihood. They are private companies. They are the ones supposed to now provide a public service, which is actually false economy. You see, public sector is not supposed to be supplied by private companies. Private companies bought into a lie. Now the private companies are running out of money. small and medium businesses, they are running out of money. They thought they were very smart. They are going to be, if they are dentists, they are also, including also general practitioners, family doctors, they are being corporatized. They are being shut down. It's a corporate economy. It's a corporate private system is being closed down. The government is not funding it. It is not supposed to fund it because that is not how the system works. The rich are rich, getting richer. The poor are getting poorer. Poor rich people are keeping the money to themselves. They are selfish. They are not going to divide it, their wealth with anybody who is poor. Rich people are living in their planet. Poor people are living, coming from another planet. They are few. The many, now languishing in poverty, are excluded in society, and it is evil. Let us look at claim and commitment, which is a rubbish. People should not be really subjected to any nonsensical claim and commitment. The government is wrong. So let us look at your personal circumstances, which might have changed since your claim and commitment was last discussed. If this has an impact on the type of hours of work you could do, you might be able to get your claim and commitment changed. For example, if your child has started school, you might want to reduce the hours you could work. Stay tuned, continue watching, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about claim and commitment. I think it is rubbish. It should be changed. If you have your member of parliament, talk to them. The system needs revamping because it is unjust and it is violent. Let us look at the Universal Credit Work-Related Activity Group. We have discussed this previously, and we are going through it in a more cursory manner. You might need to look for work or prepare for work as part of getting universal credit. What your work coach asks you to do depends on which work-related activity group, sometimes called a work called a conditionality group, we are in. If you are in the wrong group, you can try to get it changed. So this is part of your work commitment, changing your claim and commitment, like we discussed previously in the other videos, which we are continuing to contact here. If you are not in the right group, find out you can change what work related activity you are asked to do. Find out which work-related activity group you are in. These are the type of complexity which should be scrapped immediately. That is for the British government to consider. If it wants peace, then there will be peace. If it continue with violence, and the violence living by sword will also fall in sword, there is also no peace for the wicked. So you look into your Universal Credit online account to find out which work-related activity group you are in, as well as what tasks you need to do. When you're claiming Universal Credit, which is the money I'm talking about, you have to do it online. What if you don't know how to use the computer and you need money? You don't get it. This is making life complicated for people who need help, and there is no resources to employ anybody to support people in what we now know is help to claim, which is really a menacing situation. And if there were any situations to correct, then the complexity associated with universal credit should be scrapped immediately. More advisors should be recruited in the benefit sector to help people who do not know how to use computer. If you are claiming benefit, you should be getting free training on computer. The British people should be supported holistically to access information technology, to learn how to use computer, for training, for further education. Everybody on benefit should be able to should be supported, not into work, but into training, into going into education. The condition for benefit, if I were to choose, would be to get the British people who are on benefit, who are not pensioners. And the pension policy should be changed today. One pension should be given to the British people unconditionally. People who are work so hard, who are retiring, who may have failed because the government failed to produce, to create decent jobs in the country. They didn't work. They wasted their life on benefit which kept them in poverty. The system should change today, and the level of benefit should go up today. State pension should be given to everyone, whether they worked in this country, whether they didn't work. And it should not be means tested. Means tested means if you have saving, you don't get benefit. They should get benefit. Whether they are 10,000, 20,000, the level of benefit should really increase up to 30,000 pounds per annum. And also minimum wage and living wage in the country should be raised by up to 30,000 after tax in every per annum. That will lift the British people out of poverty. That is even from the top of my head. You don't need to go to school to know how much money you need to get out of poverty. On the one hand, raising the level of benefit. On the other, producing systems and support for people to become debt expert. If you borrow money, you should be able to manage money, and the system of borrowing should stop in every country. If there is a foreign office, if there is an international relationship, there should be an harmonizing of policy where the credit system should be eradicated globally, because it is the evil system which is now keeping the British people into debt. The British people should be given income, and they should be trained to manage income. They should be trained in every learning institution. The wealth now should be invested in educating every British to be their own accountant if they're doing small and medium businesses. If they have to access accountant, then the government must support them to pay for the accountancy fee. They should support people who are poor to get out of poverty, and then they can find a way in the jungle of the market if they want to be rich. I don't believe everybody can get rich, because you see, the way the system operates, unless technology comes into maturation, which it will, then it will create enough wealth for everybody, and then that will be the end of the economic age, because the economy depends on trade, and trade is available when you produce goods and services at a cost, and to cover your cost, also to make profit, because you need money to buy product. If machine is producing goods and services free of charge, there will be no need to buy it, because it doesn't cost to produce. Then the society, people who own technology, are ideally private, ideally government. It could be private government, it could be whatever. But if we are culturally sound, if an individual owns technology, he can give it for free for everybody to access technology, so that they can produce their own food, goods and services, property, housing. You don't buy anything because this machine is building it for free. Then we reach, in terms of development, an state of enlightenment where trade stops. Money is withdrawn, is irrelevant. We get what we need, as much as we need, and everybody is rich. And then we are free. The government shuts down. We don't pay taxes. We don't go to prison, because we know what is right and wrong. And that is cultural enlightenment. So if we build cultural enlightenment with developmental enlightenment, we bring enlightened progress. We achieve peace, and we achieve happiness, and we become a new society. All this violence, all this brutality will stop. This is the vision for the future, beginning now. And that is why this program is very, very important. If you are a human species, if you are not an alien, join me. Let us not despise small beginning. We have ideas. Idea is the mother and the father of all success, of all prosperity, of all survivability. If we do nothing now, if we ignore what is right, then we are facing extinction, and we alone, whether you are rich or poor, you fail, you refuse willfully to adopt what is right, the right path. You refuse deliberately to do nothing. To do something, you choose to do nothing, especially doing what is right, especially visiting our cultural roots and learning the value of humanity and applying this to bring change for the better, for peace. We have technology. We work as hard as nothing, whether we are paid or not. The government is helping us We work without pay. We work as technicians. We create technology so that technology can take over running our society, producing goods and services which we need. It is our entitlement to provide an inheritance, technological inheritance, and also the cultural inheritance, which teaches us self-respect, teaches us respect for our other people, which is the key prerequisite for peace. I believe in these precepts. I believe in these concepts. If we design one, we based on this precept, I believe we can achieve change. This is a serious business, and serious people should join me on this channel, and let us have a discussion. Let us have a discussion, conversation. Stay tuned. Let us go back to looking at money in the UK and the process of accessing this money. If you think it is relevant, leave a comment below. If you think it's not relevant for you, let us talk about it. I believe it is relevant because it's happening in the United Kingdom. Go to your government if you are in Africa. Talk to your member of parliament and your local leader. Tell them something is happening in Britain. They are giving help, financial help to their people. People who are poor are being supported. And Africa is the mother and the father of all poverty. Also, there are a lot of poor people in Asia, in South America. The world is enough. The wealth is, the world is flowing with milk and honey and wealth everywhere. It is a form of total wickedness, nasty form of corruption that a group of people are so nasty. They are so evil that they concentrate wealth in their hands and colluding with evil governments across the globe. This is not about Britain. This is not about one country. It is a human problem. Let us bring the change. Let us teach one another, whether you are poor or rich. We are all in this together. We need to learn our culture. We need respect, respecting wealth, respecting people, respecting our world, our environment, our food, our water. Which part of respect don't you understand? What part of valuing humanity and also the world humanity live in? What kind of value or respect don't you understand? Let us keep on watching. Stay tuned. Let's keep watching. Looking at this specific, we are going to look in our Universal Credit Online account to find out which work-related group we are in, as well as what task you need to do. If you don't have an online account, ask your work coach which work-related activity group you are in. There are 4 work-related activity groups. Let us look at group and what you will need to do in your work-related activity. No work-related activity requirements group. You don't have to do anything to prepare for work, to prepare or look for work. This is to do with sickness, limited capability for work, and limited capability for work-related activity, like we discussed previously. So you're looking at work-related requirements group, and then the group you are in, no work-related related requirement groups, which means you are not required to do any work-related activity. You don't have to do anything to prepare or look for work. And that is the situation. It's called no work-related related requirements group. That is the group you are in. Another group is work focus interview group. You have to go to regular meetings with your work coach. So work focus interview group. So this is when you visit the job center, you engage with your work coach. You have to go there on a regular basis to meet with your work coach, to engage in work focus interview group. And this is the group you are in. Your focus with your work coach is to look for work. So there is another group called work preparation group. You will need what you will need to do in this group is you have to meet your work coach regularly and also prepare for work, which you don't need to look for work. This includes things like writing a CV and going on training or work experience. You are not required to look for work, but you are actually required to do work-related activity. So all work-related activity group, you have to do all you can to find a job or earn more. These include looking for jobs, applying for jobs, and going to interviews. So all work-related activity group is the main group, which is for LC people who have no caveats in their condition of claiming benefit. Stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much for being around. Let us also check if you are in the right work-related activity group, and you will probably be put in the all work-related activity group if you are able to work, unless you meet any of these exceptions. If you more than one exception applies to you, you should be in the group with the lowest requirements. For example, if you fit into both the work preparation group and the work focus interview group, you should be in the work focus interview group, as that group requires less activity. So much ado for nothing. This is benefit. You should be given benefit without any complication. If you are disabled or you have a long-term illness, this is a circumstance, it's a situation you have to tell your work coach. If your sickness or disability reduces what you can do, what you can do work, what you can do to work or look for work, you will usually need to fill in a form, and you might need to go to a medical assessment. This policy should be removed. Sickness benefit should be removed. There should be no condition on claiming benefit. Benefit is a form of help for people who need it. People who do not work, the only criteria available should be if you work, then you don't get benefit. Also, if you work and you're on low pay, you get benefit. If you work and you are earning £30,000 after tax, you don't get benefit. That should be simplified as straightforward as that. And 10 minutes should be enough for you to claim benefit, and also 3 days you should be getting your pay. Now with universal credit, you wait for 5 weeks, and this is a form of wizardry, which is really a type of wickedness by the people who set this kind of policy to implement them. Let us get back to this information and stay tuned and continue watching. Thank you so much for your attending. And let us look at this information. Your work-related activity group will depend on how the Department of Work and Pension thinks your sickness or disability affects you. Now, what the Department of Work and Pension thinks about your sickness is none of their business, because if you are sick, you are the one who should be thinking about your sickness. You see, the government is not supposed to think for you. You should think for yourself. Because you are poor, the government is now trying to think for you. For people who are poor and adding insult to injury because they are poor, because if they are sick, the government has to think for them, and they are not even volunteering for the government or anything else. The government doesn't have any brain. If it did, it would have actually gotten the British people out of poverty with or without benefit. Now that it has no brain in terms of how to deal with it, the only time the British government is clever when it is dealing with rich people. When it comes to dealing with poor people, the government loses its intelligence totally. It becomes mentally deranged. And that's why the people of Britain are in poverty. 90% of people who work for a living are in poverty, because should there anything happening to their employment, they will be poor overnight. A lot of people who are now earning probably £300,000, and they depend entirely on that for their livelihood. Are you going to buy a property in the United Kingdom? If you want, say, maybe you're living in London, you want to buy maybe 2 or 3 bedroom house, 300,000 is not going to buy it, and that is for a year. And tell me, when was the last time you met somebody who earned £300,000 a month? No one does. In the United Kingdom, nobody earns that amount of money. Most people actually earn 20,000, 30,000. If you earn a lot of money, it's going to be 50,000. And this is a shame on the government of the United Kingdom, which is running the United Kingdom government and the country. So let us go back to looking at this information here, which I am so critical of. So your work-related activity group will depend on how the Department of Work and Pension thinks your sickness. They are not even clinicians, and they tell you to your face they are not. If you shoot them, they tell you are not clinicians. If you shoot them, they tell you they want to think on your behalf about your sickness. I mean, if you are sick, you are supposed to seek for your sickness, not the Department of Work and Pensions, because they pay you money, and that money is an insult to any member of the British society. And they actually even impose their views on your sickness. They are supposed to, they're not even medical doctors. See, the person to think about your sickness is your doctor. And if the doctor says you are sick in this or that, the Department of Work and Pensions should listen to the doctor. The British government should listen to the doctor, and nothing more and nothing less. They don't even, the benefit should be given before they even fill an application. The application form should be one page, personal information and a bit of information to confirm. They just phone the doctor to say, is this person sick? Yes. Okay. Phone down, claim benefit. 3 hours later, 6 hours later, the benefit is on the sick, the claim and bank account. You don't wait for how many for 3 months for your sickness benefit. Are you crazy? We don't even need sickness benefit. We need one payment, £30,000 per annum, in an equivalent paid either monthly or weekly. Take your pick. Nobody is supposed to be required to attend the job center to do a useless interview because the government wants to, turn you into a slave instead of treating you like a decent a member of British citizenship or residence. This violence, this havoc must stop today and not tomorrow. So looking at this information, which is very disgusting, there it goes. If they decide you have limited capability for work and limited capability for work related activity, LCA, WRA acronym, we talk about this and it is a mouthful. You need a speech therapy to even pronounce this acronym, limited capability for work and limited capability for work-related activity. You have to be really insane to even be able to pronounce it effectively. It's so complicated. Why do you complicate life for those who are already poor, who are very sick? You think sick people want money. Sick people want to get healed. They want to get medical attention from the hospital. The money you're trying to pay to sick people, give it to the doctors and tell the doctors to give first-class treatment to the British people. And the health sector is closing down for the poor. See, if you go there and tell you're from the government, they don't want to know. You phone them, you ask for an appointment with the doctor, they refuse to give you an appointment. They don't give an appointment. So, what am I supposed to do? If you phone accident emergency, you wait for hours. There is a number they have introduced, which is the wicked number, is 111. You can wait for 2 days. You all move from one place to place. If you don't have money, I don't even know if it is free. If you don't have money, some of these numbers may be chargeable. They are called 111. I think I used it once, but I waited and waited and waited until I was almost about to stop breathing. So, if they decide you have a limited capability for work and work-related activity, LCWRAS in acronym, you will be in the no work-related requirements group. Requirements group, work-related requirement, it means you have a work-related requirement. You mean you are required to do work-related activity in a work-related group, in the all whatever work-related group, requirements group. And if you are in no work-related requirement group, then it means you are not supposed to do work-related activity or be in a group which will make you do work-related activity because you are very sick. And if they decide you have a limited capability for work, LCW acronym, you will be in the work preparation group. You prepare for work, in other words, when you are sick. This is actually menacing If you're sick, you should be focusing on your recovery. You should stop thinking about benefit. That's why sickness benefit or whatever other benefit being associated with sickness, being associated with looking for work, this condition should be scrapped. If the government is going to help the British people, they should focus on getting the British people out of poverty by using benefit, by using employment. Condition of work, condition of benefit should change dramatically, because these are the same side of the two coin of the same two sides of the same coin. Employment and benefit are the same because they relate to income in the United Kingdom. If you don't get income, you're going to be poor, and the British people are not getting income because the level of income is low. And nobody is talking about it. The members of parliament are not able to do anything in parliament because of party politics. Even if something is wrong, the member of parliament we elect in parliament pay attention to party political interests first, not the interests of the British people, including the Conservative government and the Labour Party, and all the parties are to blame. Partisan politics should stop. If there is a national issue, which poverty is, everybody should speak the same language to get the British people out of poverty. Otherwise, shut the parliament down. We don't need a parliament which keeps British people poor. This keeping of the British people poor permanently is the worst form of weaponization. It's the worst weapon of mass destruction, because people are going to die of poverty. Children are frustrated. Parents are frustrated. We have lost our way. We don't see where we're going. Going back. Stay tuned. Continue watching. Thank you so much. Let us look at this material. And like I said, I will stop from time to time to re-examine the context so that it makes more relevance. So this kind of policy is poor. If you depend on working pen despite the fact you don't have a limited capability for work or limited capability for work-related activity, you will be in the whole work-related activity group. All work-related activity group and your midfield are going to be treated as normal, even if you are sick. Even if you are about to die, it is up to the Department of Work and Pensions to determine your sick because of money. Money is more important than life. Human life is cheap. This British government has keeping it to itself, and what the British government is doing is being done across the globe. And the people of Britain, the people of the world, should speak to their power. And they should tell the truth. If you want to keep quiet, keep quiet. But there is no peace for the wicked, because if you shut up and don't talk, you are wicked. It doesn't matter how poor, it doesn't matter how sick, it doesn't matter how sorry you feel for yourself, you are a wicked person because you have neglected your life. You have neglected the life of your family by refusing to speak to your member of parliament in one way or the other. British people must be gotten out of poverty, and this policy should be replicated across the globe. The people of the world must be removed out of poverty by world governments today, not tomorrow. Going back to this information, stay tuned, continue watching. Thank you so much for your participation. And therefore, the job center should still take your sickness or disability into account when considering what type of work you need to apply for. Sick people don't work. Tell a multimillionaire and a multi-billionaire to work when they are sick. They are going to spit your face even if you are British government. Now you turn around and abuse poor people because they are poor. You tell them what to do if they are sick. Because you are sick, the money you're giving them is enriching them. This money you're giving them is keeping them in poverty. And it should stop. The benefit system should stop, should be replaced by another system which aim to get the British out of poverty. So therefore, let's look at this material going forward. You won't need to fill in the form or have an assessment if you have already been assessed as having limited capability for work or limited capability for work-related activity, and you either get contribution-based employment and support allowance, get incapacity credits, These are some of the different types of benefit which should be simplified, scrapped, and one benefit should be given to everybody, whether you're sick or healthy, and you don't have to look for work. You look for work if you want to look for work. The government should not tell you what to do because they are giving you money. They don't tell the rich people what to do. See, the government is not going to tell rich people, if you don't work, we're going to take all your wealth. They respect rich people. Rich people have the same right as the British people who are not rich. Poor people are being told by their employer what time to get up, which time to sit down, which time to lie down, which time to breathe, which time not to breathe, because they are poor. Their employee, their bosses are telling them what to do. You don't do that with rich people. You don't do that with multi-billionaire. Where is the freedom? Where is the democracy? What kind of double standard is that? If the council, we are not even asking to be rich in this country or in any other country. We only want to be respected. We want our dignity. And we want to get out of poverty because poverty is not necessary. If the world was poor, yes, especially in the developed world, but also the developed world can look after its people to get them out of poverty, and they can look after countries like Africa or parts of Asia or South America to get them out of poverty. What kind of wickedness is that? So let us look at this situation. You get contribution-based employment support allowance, get incapacity credits, get income-related employment support allowance before you claim universal credit. You can find out how to show that you have limited capability for work if you are sick or disabled. If you are caring for a severely disabled person, this is the situation you find yourself in. And what you also need to do, you care for a severely disabled person for at least 35 hours a week. You'll be in the no work-related activity group if one of these applies. If you're entitled to or getting carers allowance, you can't get carers allowance, but only because your earnings are too high. And the Department of Work and Pensions thinks it would be unreasonable for you to look for work and be available for work because you are looking after somebody, you're a carer. So the person you care for must be getting one of these benefits. Attendance allowance, which is impossible to get. Hear it from me. Attendance allowance is what the people of pensionable age get. It's not means-tested, but also is subjected to all the conditional benefit, which is really unnecessary. It's really mindless of a policy. Then you talk about all the standard and enhanced rate of the daily living component of personal independence payment. These are benefits. The standard or enhanced rate of the daily living component of personal independence payment. There are different components, and they're so complex and so disheartening that people, 90% or even more, don't actually even bother to claim this benefit. They are there on paper. They don't exist in reality. It is almost like the government is playing fraud with the British people, saying we are giving help. They are not. So let us look at this information. The IS or middle rate care component of the disability living allowance. This is for children. Disability living allowance is for children. They're the same benefit, but one is for pensionable people who are elderly, and also personal independence payment is for normal people of working age, and also the disability living allowance for children, constant attendance allowance paid with a war disablement pension or industrial injuries benefit. So you're looking at people who are from the military or from certain types of industry, armed forces independent payment. So these are different types of benefit, and there isn't any reason why there should be so complication in benefit system. And you aren't classed as having caring responsibility if you earn money from them. So if you don't meet these conditions, you could be placed in the all work related activity group. Your work coach should still consider your care responsibilities when setting your work activity. For example, if you spend 20 hours a week caring for someone, you shouldn't have to go to job interviews in those hours, which is total rubbish. Let's look at your other responsibilities. If you are responsible for a child, for example, if you are the main carer for a child, your work-related activity group depends on how old your child is. If you're living with your partner, you will need to nominate which of you is the main carer. You usually do this at your first interview at the job center. The same rules apply if you have adopted a child or are looking after a child for a friend or a relative. There are some differences in the first 12 months. If you are looking after these people, your child's age, for example, your work group under one no work related requirements group. Your child's age, your work group, year 1 year, work focus interview group, 2 years, work preparation group, 3 or above, all work related activity group. Total nonsense. If you want my comment, if you are in the all work related activity group, your work related activity should still fit in with looking after your child. How to do that is a mystery. While your child is under 13, your work coach has to make sure your work activity fits around school or nursery hours. This is tediousness, and if you stop, this policy is bogus. This includes the time it takes you to travel there and back. No peace for the wicked. If you are in a prison, then be in contact with the Department of Work and Pension or any of the social services provided in modern day Britain. You can actually stress to the point of death. And this is no way to run a country for your people if you are practicing in some form of sanity as opposed to insanity, if you are practicing righteousness as opposed to wickedness. So let's look at this material. Stay tuned and continue watching. Thank you so much. So your work coach should adjust your work-related activity if your child has extra care needs. For example, if they have a mental illness condition, they should do this even if your child is over 13. Sound good to me? Look good on paper, but worthless as a practical implement. Tell your work coach if you are looking after your child, but they normally live with an ex-partner. Your work-related activity group won't change, but your work-related activity should still take your child into account while you are looking after them. Also, if you are responsible for a child of a friend or a relative, this would be your situation, and if the child is over 2 years, you will stay in work focus interview group if you have become responsible for them in the past 12 months. This is complex enough. I've said enough, more than enough, in criticizing these policies. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Thank you so much. To meet this exception, you will need to meet all of these conditions as below. You are not the child's parent or step-parent. You are caring for the child because they have no parents or their parents can't care for them. If you don't care for them, it's likely that the local authority will look after them instead because of concerns about their welfare. The child is under 16. These are the least of the situations you might or might not find yourself in terms of, we are only talking about money, how to get it. The complexity is mind-boggling. After 12 months, you will be in the same work-related activity group as if they were your own child. If you adopted a child less than 12 months ago, this is another situation, and you will be in the no work related activity group for 12 months, no matter how old the child is. Usually the 12 months starts when the child is placed with you. You can start your 12 months up to 14 days before then. If you tell the job center you need time to prepare for the adoption, you can't ask for this if you are a close relative of the child you have adopted. Stay tuned, keep watching. After 12 months, you will be in the same work-related activity group as if the child wasn't adopted. If you are pregnant or you have given birth in the past 15 weeks, this is a situation you might find yourself in. If you are at least 28 weeks pregnant, you should be in the no work-related activity group. If you are less than 28 weeks pregnant, you might still need to look for work. If you can't manage this, explain why to your work coach. Tell the Department of Work and Pension if working or looking for work could be a risk to your health or your baby's health. They will class you as having either limited capability for work. This will put you in the work preparation group. So they could also put you into limited capability for work related activity. This will put you in the no work related activity group and increase your universal credit payments. This means your condition is classed as being sick enough to prevent you in a certain way in terms of how you work or live. You might need to show some evidence of the risk, for example, a letter from your doctor. Find out more about having limited capability for work. If you have recently given birth, another situation. If it is less than 15 weeks since you gave birth, you should be in the no work related activity group. If it's been 15 weeks, then or more since you gave birth, and you are not the child's main carer, you could be expected to look for work. If you can't manage this, explain your reasons to your work coach. Thank you so much. Stay tuned, continue watching. Another situation, if you have reached pension credit age. We have talked about pension credit. We might be talking about pension generally going forward because it's also a type of money. You should be in the no work related activity group if you have reached pension credit age. So look at pension credit per se. You can get more detail on our pension credit page. You will usually be better off claiming pension credit. Instead, check if you can get pension credit. Pension credits you get when you are actually not getting enough or no state pension at all, or in addition to other pension benefit like work or occupational pension. And this because the pension credit is means tested. If you have money, if you have £10,000 in saving, you don't get pension credit necessarily. Or perhaps you get some, or maybe you won't get it. So let's look at our situation pertaining to you or your partner who are working or self-employed. If you are self-employed, you will be in the no work related activity group if either the minimum income floor applies to you. Check out the minimum income floor works. In the previous videos, we have discussed this, and watch this video and the rest of the video, or visit gov.uk or the rest of the other our website links I have actually talked about in the other videos. Or if you earn more than your earnings threshold, or if you have an employer, you'll be in the no work related activity group if you earn above your earnings threshold. There is a threshold which I said, work out your earnings threshold. This is a situation Your earning threshold is the weekly hours you are expected to work multiplied by your minimum wage. If your earnings vary, they are calculated as an average of the past 3 months. For your earning threshold, your weekly hours depend on what work-related activity group you would be in if you weren't working. So we are also looking at the work group and the hours. Work focus interview group 16 hours, work preparation group 16 hours, all work-related activity group set in your claim and commitment usually 35 hours. If you live with your partner, another situation, we're going to close this year sooner or later. Your earning threshold will be added together to create one joint threshold. Stay tuned, keep watching, we are nearly there. Thank you so much. If you watch this far, subscribe to this channel and share the video with family and friends. Leave comments, click notification bell, click like, and let us continue. If your combined earnings are less than your joint threshold, one or both of you will need to look for more work. If one of you is earning more than their individual threshold, that person doesn't have to look for more work, as it is in no peace for the wicked. Contact your nearest citizen advice if you need help with your earnings threshold. Citizen advice they are the biggest advice service in the UK, and they help exceedingly well. They are the best in my opinion. But they, like many other public sectorial systems, are lacking in resources because the government is not funding them adequately. Increasingly, the funding will dry out and this organization will shut down. That is the prognosis, the prediction. In the next 10 to 20, maybe 50 years, you may not see anything left of the public sector. So let us look at how to calculate joint earnings threshold. If you live with your partner but have to claim a single as a single person, your joint earnings threshold is calculated as if your partner was in the old work-related activity group. This will usually mean adding 35 hours a week at minimum wage to your own earnings threshold. For more details on the earnings threshold for a member of a couple who is claiming as a single person, see paragraph J28 of DWP advice for decision makers, chapter J2. If you are below your earnings threshold, you'll be in the old work-related activity group. This really means you will have to find enough work to increase your earnings above your earnings threshold. You won't have to look for work, more work if either you earn over £677 a month. If you live with your partner and your combined earnings is over £1,083 a month, this is known as the administrative earnings threshold. If you comment below if you know what these are. The administrative earnings threshold, we are looking at this next time we meet. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to my channel, share the video with family and friends, click notification bell, leave a comment below, and click like. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good afternoon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okun. We are talking here in the United Kingdom about money given to the British people by the British